I don't think he could take a punch from Gervonta Davis. I don't see it. Gervonta Davis might be the best in the world. He can punch. He's a knockout artist. Gervonta Davis, Tank Davis. The time has come for the world to recognize this is one of the top 5 fighters on the planet. He might be top 3. Once he smells blood, he's like a shark in blood-infested waters, Molly. He will finish you, okay? And by the way, he is an elite boxer.
And I predict that's the kind of career Tank is going to have. Edge-of-your-seat kind of fight after edge-of-your-seat kind of fight when he fights the elite.
Well, what he wants, why? Because he's a great fundamental puncher. So his punch will be the same no matter what we got. If you are fundamentally sound, that don't matter. But if you're not fundamentally sound, then yeah, when you move away, you're going to lose your punch.
Boxing pros are starting to believe Gervonta Davis could seriously damage Shakur Stevenson's career if they finally fight this year. And with reports claiming the matchup is getting closer, the boxing world is already split on whether Shakur can survive Tank's power and pressure for 12 rounds.
Shakur and Tank, oh God, I don't even, it's gonna be interesting.
You know, I think that's the biggest fight in American boxing.
Boxing pros are starting to believe Gervonta Davis could seriously damage Shakur Stevenson's career if they finally fight this year. And with reports claiming the matchup is getting closer, the boxing world is already split on whether Shakur can survive Tank's power and pressure for 12 rounds.
Fight next.
Shakur Stevenson, for legitimate fight purposes, Gervonta Davis, to me, is the #1 attraction in boxing. He's the #1 attraction in boxing. He will finish you. He will close. And this brother comes, and he's one of those guys. They call him, the mini Mike, as a Mike Tyson. He's willing to take a punch to give it now. And I haven't seen him hurt. He got bruised. He might have bruises, but I ain't seen nobody
Gervonta
wobble
Davis
him.
and Shakur Stevenson might still be circling around each other right now. But Stephen A. Smith already sounds convinced he knows how that fight ends. According to him, Tank has become the kind of fighter who breaks opponents mentally before the real damage even starts. And once he starts walking you down, very few fighters can survive those deep waters.
Tank Davis, the most exciting fighter today.
Yes, he is. He's the most exciting. He's the most exciting because he is vulnerable, because he's not unbeatable. He's got crazy fast twitchies. He can box, but he's so aggressive and he's vulnerable enough to counters that it's actually exciting. You believe there's a chance the other guy can win. And that makes it even more exciting, to say nothing of the pace he sets, the level of action, the level of bombs that are thrown by Tank, and as he fights better opposition, the number that will be coming back at him. Yeah, he's guaranteed.
Now, bring in Max Kellerman, who actually brought up something about Gervonta Davis that should make Shakur Stevenson fans nervous. He believes Tank's style is dangerous because he's willing to walk through fire just to land that one fight-changing shot. And against a defensive boxer like Shakur, that kind of pressure could eventually turn the entire fight into survival mode.
Davis and Gervonta Davis or Shakur Stevenson. The only fight I want to see right now would be Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. Why is that? Because Shakur's still on the winning road, on the winning streak, and so is Gervonta. We don't want to see you fight a guy who lost already. Not that he lost, but we don't want to see you fight a guy we saw suffer whatever he suffered. We want to see you fight a guy that we know is at a peak.
People keep on saying that Shakur, his IQ in boxing, he's very tactical. His background could give problems to Tank Davis. Do you think that would be the key factor for Shakur Stevenson to beat Gervonta Davis?
Shakur Stevenson will be a problem for anybody because of that back foot game. He has an awesome back foot game. And when you got a good back foot game like that, and you understand boxing like you understand it, he's gonna make it rough for anybody. But Tank is a different animal too. So it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, oh, he's going to win, oh, he's going to win. No. We already know that Shakur's going to stay back, Tank got to gamble some to get what he wants.
And even Roy Jones Jr. thinks the biggest mistake people make when talking about a possible Tank versus Shakur fight is underestimating how dangerous Gervonta really is once he starts breaking opponents down round after round. According to Roy, this isn't just about speed or flashy defense anymore. It's about who can stay composed once the pressure starts building. And in his eyes, that's exactly why this matchup could become a nightmare for Shakur Stevenson.
I think it's going to be a hell of a fight. I think it's going to be a very, very entertaining fight.
He's obviously, he's here to win. He's motivated. He's well prepared.
He's one of those guys who are always in the gym and he's on the call, always, all the time.
Shakur Stevenson has, quote-unquote, called Gervonta Davis out in the past. I know of an opportunity for Shakur Stevenson to at least make that fight happen. Is the punch output relative to Shakur Stevenson and the fact that he doesn't typically punch when he's being punched at. So slipping shots, countering, things of that nature. That's been our general consensus, right? I've always thought that Shakur in a Gervonta Davis fight would not have the output to be successful because he'd be too concerned about the firepower that's coming back at him, right? And that's always been my assessment. So, and if he opens up, I think there's potential for him to get knocked out. So I've always thought the fight could go the distance, but it would go the distance because Shakur Stevenson would necessarily open up.
I think they're different styles, obviously. I think Shakur is more, fights on his back foot, fights tall, throws 1-2 punches. I think Tank Davis takes more risk, He goes forward a little more. I think he has more power. I'm going to pick Tank.
Then Oscar De La Hoya might have just given the most shocking prediction yet for a potential Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson fight. While most people expect a technical chess match, Oscar believes Tank's pressure and timing could eventually turn the fight into something much more dangerous. And once he explained how Shakur's defensive style matches up against Tank's explosive counters, the conversation instantly got heated.
He's a great fighter.
You think he's a great fighter? What do you think about them bringing to you? I mean, you're a legend, my friend.
Well, he'll be one too if he keeps fighting.
Oh, okay.
The Tank is just a force of nature. You just got to give him the credit, because if Shakur handles this guy like he did Lopez, I'm within hell with him. I'm within hell with Shakur, man. If he just handles this guy like he's in the hell with him.
No, Mike,
somebody got to give him a fight, though, but you got to be very sophisticated to know how to fight. This is when I know you lost against Shakur. This is when I know you lost. You see when he does this stuff? Once you start doing this stuff and looking at him, oh, it's over. You got constant action, motions, constant motion again. You got to be on him constantly. Once you start looking at him and doing that, he is dead.
Mike Tyson also gave his thoughts on a possible Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson showdown. And the way he described both fighters instantly got boxing fans paying attention. Tyson made it clear that Shakur is one of the smartest and most technically gifted fighters in the sport today, especially with the way he controls distance, reads opponents, and slowly breaks them apart mentally during fights. But when the conversation shifted toward Tank, Tyson's tone completely changed. He described Gervonta Davis as more of a force than a normal boxer, somebody who brings pressure, explosiveness, and danger every second of the fight. According to Tyson, that's what makes this matchup so unpredictable. Shakur has the skills to frustrate almost anybody, but Tank only needs one opening to completely change everything. And once Tank starts timing opponents and forcing reactions, even elite fighters can suddenly look uncomfortable. That's why Tyson believes this fight will be one of the toughest tests of Shakur Stevenson's entire career.
Sets traps, and he's got ridiculous one-punch knockout power, too. He's just such an interesting fighter because his style is so different from everybody else. He's so conservative in the early rounds, throws so few punches, and he lets you work. He lets you work, and you're backing up, and you're always afraid of that power, and he's just moving in, trying to find that opening.
Tank is so good. Tank will give you something that's really not there. It's literally, you think is, about the three top, the ball into three top hustle.
Mm-hmm.
You think
right.
He showed it to you. You think, and
right.
he did a couple of these. It's not there.
Right.
He shows you something that is like an illusion. Might not be the first time once he tried you and you go for it, but it's coming. And that's how he said.
But then Joe Rogan also weighed in on the growing conversation around a possible Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson fight. And he made it clear that Tank brings a level of danger most fighters simply can't prepare for. Rogan talked about how there's a massive difference between fighting someone who wins rounds and fighting someone who can completely change the entire fight with one shot. According to him, that's what makes Tank terrifying. Even when opponents look comfortable early, Tank keeps stalking, keeps reading patterns, and waits for the smallest mistake before exploding with counters that instantly shift momentum. Rogan also hinted that Shakur's defensive style could make the fight competitive for a while. But the longer the fight goes, the more pressure Tank applies mentally and physically. And against a puncher who only needs one clean opening, that pressure starts building every single round. That's why Rogan believes this matchup is far more dangerous for Shakur than many fans are willing to admit right now.
Confident that one can be delivered, because I know Tank's had kind of a few jabs with Turkey, I'll shake, shall we say. Are you confident it can be delivered, Tank versus Shakur?
Because everyone's sensible. I mean, what other fights are there out for Tank? You know, he's fighting, you know, he's got a decent fight next, but he's a super featherweight that Tank will want to be in big fights. He'll want to make big money, and I think the biggest fight out there for him is Shakur Stevenson, and vice versa.
I don't think he's a massive star like Tank Davis. I don't think anyone beats him. I would bet Shakur Stevenson every time over those guys.
The whole division, even the guys at 140.
He may be the guy that gets beat when he moves up. You know, he started at featherweight, went to super featherweight, now he's at lightweight. Over time, those special guys will get beat by moving up divisions. Lomachenko, maybe even a new age. So that's how they'll get beat, by moving up divisions.
That's true. I think especially in no way. He's quite small. One thing on the Gervonta fight, Eddie, just overall, what did you make of how the plan of attack from both for the fight?
I don't know. I haven't really watched it in great length. I just feel like Tank's a smart fighter.
Yeah.
Ryan can make mistakes. You know, he's a sharp puncher. I'm not sure how robust he is against punches like that. You know. But, good fight.
Yeah, because a lot of people felt that maybe Ryan was a little too aggressive, and that's what opened him up for the second.
Eddie Hearn also weighed in on the growing Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson conversation, and his biggest concern wasn't even skill. It was whether Shakur can handle the kind of pressure Tank brings once the fight turns physical. He basically hinted that certain fighters look untouchable until they're forced into exchanges they can't control anymore. And against somebody as explosive as Tank, one small mistake could completely change the fight.
Put money on the fight. I know you don't bet on fights. And the fight was Gervonta Davis against Shakur Stevenson. Who would you say would win?
Look, Shakur Stevenson is a good fighter. He moves a lot, and it's very difficult to get hit. To hit him. But I like Gervonta Davis.
Okay.
He's a really good fighter. He hits hard, and he knows how to go forward. So
Canelo Alvarez also weighed in on the growing buzz around Davis and Stevenson, and his reaction made it clear just how respected both fighters are inside the boxing world. Canelo pointed out that Shakur's defense, patience, and ring IQ make him one of the hardest fighters to deal with technically, but when the conversation turned toward Tank, Canelo hinted that power like that changes everything. According to him, there's a massive difference between fighting someone who wins rounds and fighting someone who can erase your game plan with a single shot. He also suggested that pressure fighters like Tank become more dangerous the longer the fight goes because they slowly force opponents into mistakes. That's why Canelo believes this matchup isn't just about boxing skill. It's about who can handle the tension once the momentum starts shifting. And in a fight where one clean punch can change history, Tank's explosiveness becomes a terrifying factor for anyone standing across from him.
You think who would pose more of a difficult task, Shakur or Tank, you think, when you look at the styles?
Shakur against who?
You. Because you said that you need to build with Shakur, right? Because of the status of the fight needs to be built up to be something big. A Tank is something that is like, it's going to be big right away. So without that being aside and just the skills alone, you know what I'm saying? Like,
styles make fights though.
Right.
Styles make fights. Tank fight, he come to get boogie. He come to where if he don't your ass, he gonna knock you out. Styles like that being clashed against each other, it's gonna be a juicy fight. It's bound to be a juicy fight. On top of the names, Shakur, he got a different style. He got a surgical style. He's a boxer. You know, he don't get hit. He's not going to get hit. He's going to move. He's going to be smart and obedient. He's not going to try to throw no wasteful shots. And he's not going to take no risk for real with certain fighters. Why? Because it'd be foolish. His job is to win. And if he can do that by playing it safe, and he's going to do that. Right. It's not stupid of him. It's smart of him. It's obedient. Floyd Mayweather did the same thing. He's not about to just go out here and brawl with these guys. He could have brawled with Canelo. Mm-hmm. He could have brawled with Miguel Cotto.
Victor Ortiz didn't sound confused at all when he was asked about a possible Davis versus Stevenson fight. In fact, when the second Tank's name came up, Ortiz immediately started talking about how dangerous Davis really is once he gets comfortable inside the ring. He basically hinted that Shakur's skills can make things competitive early, but Tank's explosiveness and killer instinct are the kind of weapons that completely change fights in one moment. And according to Ortiz, there's a reason so many people inside boxing compare Tank's energy to the most feared punches the sport has ever seen.
Are you saying that because that's your man and you don't like Tank?
No. Hey, like I said, I respect Tank. Like, boxing, he's one of the ones.
Yeah.
We're gonna take his personality and personal things out of it. But boxing, he's definitely talented. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he's definitely got that it. Yeah, he's definitely respected in boxing. But Shakur is a different fighter. You know, Shakur is different. You know, people may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive fighters.
Yeah.
Tank is not going to be able to hit Shakur like he hit everybody else. And he know that. He knows that. That's why he's like, he's boring. He's this, he's that. He's trying to diminish everything that Shakur have done, so it's not marketable. But he can't do that because
Gary
Shakur
Antoine Russell also gave his thoughts on this showdown, and he made it sound like this fight would come down to far more than just talent. According to Russell, both fighters are leading completely different ways, which is exactly why the matchup feels so dangerous. He hinted that Shakur's movement and boxing IQ could create problems early, but Tank's timing, patience, and explosive counters make him the kind of fighter who can completely flip a fight with one mistake. Russell also suggested that fighting Tank isn't just physical. It becomes mental pressure every single round because opponents know one clean shot can end everything instantly. And against somebody as calculated as Shakur Stevenson, that pressure could slowly force him into uncomfortable positions he normally avoids. That's why Russell believed this fight has all the ingredients to become one of the biggest and most unpredictable boxing matchups in years.
The defensive specialist.
And I've been saying this for a long time. If you pay attention to how Tank would react whenever Shakur's name came up, I was like, yo, it's something that Tank knows that most people don't know or understand. There's something that he sees in Shakur. It could be the fact that Shakur was a 2016 silver medalist. You know,
he's got a lot to do with it.
He's that, you know, the silver child of the country, and you know, there's no telling. But this is what I've always known. It ain't just a big straight left or a big right hook coming from Tank that's going to end that night. That night is going to be the most strategical you've seen both these guys ever be in a fight.
Tank going to always get paid anytime he feel like fighting because he got that knockout ratio. But when he come across Shakur Stevenson, I'm going to say it here on the front page, and Tank, I love you, brother, and still would love to talk to you. 100. But when you get in there with Shakur, it's going to remind me of Deontay Wilder fighting Tyson Fury.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because what you gonna do when you come across a motherfucker you can't knock out? Only thing you gonna do is just get more frustrated.
This boxing style that you don't usually get from Tank. You're gonna see IQ. We saw IQ, but to me, it was low IQ because the reason why it was low IQ is because everybody followed the script. And what I mean by that is, you see somebody's IQ take place when a fighter makes an adjustment, and now you have to adjust to what that fighter is doing, and that's kind of where you see
who's smart, and
you know what I mean?
Who get a hold of it.
I think my fight with Terrence shows a very high level of IQ from both of us. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's what Tank is gonna do with Shakur. He's gonna.
While
come
many
into the ring
pros
and
are
be
predicting Tank Davis to win, Terrence Crawford has made it pretty clear that if Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson ever step into the ring together, he believes Shakur has what it takes to win the fight. Since they're close friends and have spent years around each other in boxing circles, Crawford has a lot of confidence in Shakur's intelligence, discipline, and ability to control opponents without taking unnecessary damage. According to Crawford, Shakur's movement, timing, and defensive awareness could frustrate Tank over the course of a long fight and force him into chasing mistakes that never come. But even while backing Shakur, Crawford still acknowledges how dangerous Tank is because one clean counter can instantly change everything. That's why Crawford believes the key for Shakur will be staying locked in mentally for all 12 rounds and never giving Tank the kind of opening he usually capitalizes on.
Shakur might have better defense, but at the end of the day, I still think we haven't seen the best Tank Davis. That's what people always power. We still haven't seen the best Tank Davis. And Shakur, for the most part, he comes forward. Mm-hmm. Tank Davis, all he takes is one shot. Mm-hmm. He's a very...
In Sean Porter's eyes, skill and discipline may give Shakur the edge in this matchup. He thinks the fight is still going to be very close, and it won't be easy for Tank and Shakur.
Patient fighter, he doesn't throw a lot of shots, but every shot he throws, he makes them count.
So what do you say to those who might be saying that, Tank is afraid of Shakur?
Afraid of what? He don't have no offense. Everything is defense. What has Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Some experts believe that the fight won't be easy for Tank, as Shakur is a skilled boxer. They believe that it is going to be a 50-50 fight. However, Tank may have something else in his mind. So now the question is simple. If Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson finally meet in the ring, does Tank's power in the fight, or does Shakur's IQ survive the storm? Let me know who you're picking in the comments.